Hello friends, welcome back to another episode of Cinema B-Side. Today we have 2 FYC events, just like yesterday. It's been a busy weekend. Today we're doing the live in front of a studio audience produced by Norman Lear, another one of my Hollywood heroes, and Jimmy Kimmel, where they recreate some of Norman Lear's classic television shows with an updated cast. And then after that, we're doing Ozark, back over at Raleigh. Are you ready? I know you are. Let's go. Hello, cinephiles. It's me, Todd. I'm in the studio. As you can see, I just wanted to let everyone know that the best way to support the channel is to subscribe to my Patreon, where not only do you become a member of the community, you get early access to the B-side videos, as well as watch-throughs of movies or TV shows we are covering, and other movie reactions and commentaries from a filmmaker's perspective. And if that's out of your budget, no worries, just hit that like button. It really does help out the channel with the algorithm. And of course, subscribe to get the latest videos delivered directly to you. Hit that notification bell to be alerted of the newest uploads, and please share these videos with your friends and family. And now, back to our regularly scheduled program. What you talk about, Willis? E.T. wants to know what your favorite Norman Lear catchphrase is. Of course, his is "What you talking about, Willis?" We're back here at El Capitan like we were yesterday, but I want to show everyone this. Look, they're getting all set up for the Jurassic World red carpet event because they're probably going to be doing the premiere at the Chinese Man's Theater. Check it. Look at that, they got a little sunroof going on. Hey, there's the Roosevelt. That's where the after party is for the FYC events here. Hey, there's Raj. Hi, Raj.
I'm on the red carpet right now.
Oh, yeah. So I did like a little brief history of El Capitan Theater yesterday. So if you want to check that video out, click the card in the upper right. Along Hollywood Boulevard and around Hollywood, they have these little historic sites where they explain the history of Hollywood, and of course the El Capitan is a huge part in Hollywood history, just like I was saying yesterday. They also have a lot of those things around North Hollywood where the Television Academy is, but they're a little bit different up there. We got a much better view of the carpet set up here for Jurassic World premiere red carpet event coming soon to the Chinese Theater. Day 2 back at the Disney Theater.
You're professional. Look at that professional. I made a mess. Clean up. I gotta get one.
See if I can get a good spot. Ooh, check this. Maybe I can finally get an aisle seat. I'm gonna go to the other side. Check it out. Here's where the organ player comes out. He comes out of the ground right here. Isn't that crazy? Oh, this is a good spot. Comes again.
Welcome to the official TV Academy FYC forum, live in front of the studio audience. Please take your seats and enjoy the show. warm welcome to the legends behind Live in front of a studio audience.
Did you guys like it? Was it fun to see it on tape? Had any of you not seen it when it aired? Okay, all right, good. Well, unless you watch it when you were supposed to. Right. So we appreciate it. Well, thank you all for coming and spending part of your Sunday with us here today. We are excited, and it was fun to see it again. And by the way, it wasn't a much better year so far as I hoped. It's been a pretty shitty year, and but what better way for all of you to get COVID than being with us here? I want to introduce our panelists. First of all, I mean, we could do a whole afternoon with this guy alone. He is not one of the all-time greats, the all-time great. Jim Burrows is with us. That I admire, actually two actors that I admire very greatly. One of them is here with us in person, Allison Tolman, everybody. Another is with us via the recent miracle of Zoom. Can we see Ann? Ann Dowd is zooming in with us. The screen. This is the gentleman in the black shirt right here in the middle who really put this whole thing together and made it happen. He is Norman's producing partner, and in a way, my producing partner as well. And none of this would have happened were it not for Brent Miller, our executive producer. And you guys know the man in the white hat, the one and only, the not just great as far as show business, television, movies, writing, etc. go, but just a great person, a great human being, Mr. Norman Lear. We had a lot of fun doing this, right? I mean, that we can all agree on, and if we wouldn't have done it had it not been a lot of fun, because it was a great deal of work, and we had so many superstar actors in one room who we had to get for rehearsals, and we had to make it right because the show is live. And if it wasn't right, somebody was going to be embarrassed at the end of it. But I do want to start with Norman, who, in case you don't know, turns 100 years old next month. July 27th is the magical day. July 27th. So, Norman, you obviously have done so many things. You've worked on so many projects, and I want to start by asking, what is it like to work with Jimmy Kimmel? I hear he's terrific.
I'm not hearing as clearly as I might.
Yeah, I said, what is it like to work with Jimmy Kimmel? You know, the talk show host?
You know Jimmy Kimmel?
Oh, yeah, well, I've seen him on TV. I don't know him. Nobody really knows him. Yes, well, I'll take it that by that you mean it's wonderful.
Pretty good.
He's pretty good. I'll take it, believe me, from you.
He's wonderful.
Is it, I gotta tell you, one of the things I love most about doing this is watching you during it. And watching you look at these sets, first of all, that are so familiar. It's almost like going to your old house growing up. And is it creepy when I'm watching you watch the show?
What about me watching the show?
I know these speakers are making it hard for us to hear each other.
Well, in addition to the...
I guess I want to ask, what's it like to go back in time and to see these shows that you were on the set of and you helped to create and produce, and to see come back to life?
It was like walking into the living room of the house we lived in at 68 Woodstock Street in Hartford when I was 12 years old. I mean, the same feeling of history and family and love and attention and laughter.
And I think, weirdly, that's the same feeling all of us got from this, from seeing that again, and from seeing these shows that, yeah, you could pull them up on YouTube and you could watch them, but to know that they were right there in front of you was, for me, very sentimental, even though, I didn't live with the Drummonds. I wasn't adopted. I lived with my parents, but we were very focused on these other imaginary families, and they, in a way, became a part of our family. And Allison, actually, I want to ask you, because both Allison and Ann did something great, and I'm not going to name names, but not everybody did this, but Allison and Ann immediately agreed. Like, there were, like, the email, I think I got a little bit of whiplash when the email came back, because they were so enthusiastic about doing this. And we give a lot of thought to who is going to play these roles, and even just like kind of just figuring out if everybody gets along. Like, we don't know, we want to make sure everybody's like on the same page. But both of you were so quick to say yes, and I wonder why that was. I'll start with Allison.
I think we need to play Harder to Get, Anne.
No, I hate Harder to Get.
Today. No, I mean, from the second I got the call about the project until we wrapped, it was like an out-of-body experience. I couldn't believe I was getting that opportunity. So it was a super easy yes for me.
And
what a dream project and what a dream cast.
But you say yes so quickly, and then you have to do it, and then you have to go, how am I gonna approach this? And so how did you think about that, and how are you gonna approach playing Natalie?
Yeah, I mean, there are projects that you say yes to because obviously you're going to do them, and then you figure out how scary it's going to be once you're working on them, which I think was the case with this. It was really scary to do a live show. I've never done, I came up in theater, but I've never done a sitcom. And, the jokes are so ingrained in the script, and as soon as we started rehearsing, it just, like you said, felt like coming home. It felt like coming home to these shows and these stories, these characters that people know so well, and for me, it felt like coming home to performing in front of a live audience. It was a dream. It was so terrifying to be live like that, but also just exhilarating, really wonderful.
Everyone seems to have had that same experience. Every actor, no matter what they've done, how many sitcoms they've done, was terrified, and I love that. I love just sitting there watching everybody be terrified, because I'm usually the one that has to sit there and be terrified. And is, and you're not typically known for playing comedy roles, and also,
everyone laughing.
but something, and I think Brent and Norman agree, we just knew that you were the person we wanted to play Edna Garrett. And I don't know what it was, but I just, some people were like, well, I don't know, has she been on a sitcom? And I was like, it doesn't matter if she's been on a sitcom. She is going to kill this. And it was such an important role, because one of the things we wanted when we decided to do this is we wanted to make sure that Mrs. Garrett was in both shows. Mrs. Garrett wasn't in every episode of Different Strokes. She left to go do Facts of Life. So we wanted to make sure, I thought it would be fun to have a crossover, and we'd not had that really before. Or actually, yeah, we kind of had that on The Jeffersons and All in the Family, but in a much smaller role. And were you as confident as we were?
Scared to death. And I agreed with Allison 100%. The yes was immediate. And the next however many weeks were, oh, they've made a mistake. I know they and saying honestly to my wonderful manager, Marcia and Gary, are you sure? And terror And I want to say something about Allison. She was my anchor through the whole thing. I just realized, okay, who am I going to hold on to for dear life? It was Allison told me. I loved every single second, and I was terrified to the point of looking at Jennifer Aniston saying, honey, I have a friendship there, and I said, could you help me out here? At what point are you worried about passing out from fear? Like, does it happen? I was so honored, and every single bit of it, just to see all of you there. Norman Lear, Jimmy Kimmel, Jim Burrows, come on now. The clearest, most direct, here's how you do it, move here, don't move there, honey. Come here now, Annie, come here. Okay, the whole experience, truly, truly phenomenal. Couldn't be more great.
And I think, I'm not sure if I said this in the special, but there was a funny moment backstage where Anne had Charlotte Rae down so perfectly. One of the grips thought she was Charlotte Rae. And I was like, no, that would be weird because she passed away many years ago. But what a compliment, and really how, I mean, you just had her, you just had every bit of her.
I think I had prayers every night. Come on, Charlotte, give me a hand here, hon, because this is your role, and I need a little assistance. And there she was, ready to help me.
A ray of light, if you will.
There you
Thanks,
are.
everybody. Okay, so Jimmy Burrows did something that I am so impressed by. I still can't even believe it. I just can't imagine being this good at my job. And that is this. Wait do you hear what I'm gonna actually say. So we have these shows that were produced and that people remember. Jimmy never looks at the show. He looks at the script and directs it from the script as if it's the first time it's been produced. And I mean, why the fuck would you do that?
Am I on? Yeah. To save time.
It seems like it would actually cost time. I mean, you mean to save that 22 minutes it would have taken to watch it?
I wanted to put my stink on it. You know, that's what I do. And in the second one, the fact that you had adults playing kids, that was a little, different. So it made it different. But the first one, I didn't want to watch All in the Family, although I did when I was, younger, but I didn't remember that show, and I didn't remember the Jeffersons at all. So I did not want to go back and watch them on YouTube. I just wanted to put, I think I know what to do to make something funny. And there's no rewrites. The script wasn't being rewritten at all. So it's to put them in the right position to have those jokes land as incredibly powerfully as you can.
I was amazed by it, and also by how much calm you brought to the storm. I had actors asking me questions, and I was like, you're talking to the wrong Jimmy. Just ultimately, everybody wanted to have check that box of I worked with Norman Lear.
I think they wanted to check the box to work with Carol O'Connor and Gene Stapleton, Rob Reiner, and the others.
Yeah, but you're wrong.
I recognize my role, but I think when I'm at the base of what I just tried to express was my own awe at Carol O'Connor, Gene Stapleton, Rob Reiner, Summer Stubbins, etc. The Arthur, etc. The Arthur made me laugh in places of my body I didn't know existed. Words on paper are words on paper and you think they're hilarious, just hang in with me for a minute. Before I met Carol O'Connor, I had in New York interviewed maybe 30 actors for the role, auditioned.
Wow.
I didn't find Carol O'Connor. Came out to California, interviewed a few people, and then Carol O'Connor came in. When Carol O'Connor opened his mouth, half a page of the script, there was Archie Bunker. Mm-hmm. Now, the miracle of the performer and the words coming together. I didn't have Carol O'Connor in mind. I don't know what the hell I had in mind writing Archie Bunker. But I knew what I had in mind the minute he opened his mouth. he taught me who Archie Bunker was. And that's true of all of the other memorable characters.
I feel that was true of this project itself, in that none of us really knew how. I mean, I remember pitching this to ABC, and they said, "Oh, this is great, yeah, let's do it." And then I thought, "Oh shit, what if this doesn't work at all? You know, what if, I know I was full of confidence in the pitch meeting, but I'm not really full of confidence. You never know for sure." But then something happens, and I think it happened in particular in these two shows. I think because. I mean, look, let's be honest. Facts of Life is not All in the Family. It's not, it's not a show that changed America. It was a fun show. It was something that we enjoyed, but the scripts are very different, and the weight of the shows are very different, and the same with Different Strokes. So you've got these pretty light shows, and I think we all felt like we even more so needed heavy actors to play these roles, and there were so many unknowns. I mean, one big unknown, and I remember, Jimmy, you were a little worried about this, it was Snoop Dogg, who was high out of his mind the whole week. And on the show, too, we didn't know for sure, like, we knew, like, Ann and Allison were gonna remember their lines, but we didn't know if Snoop was even gonna remember where the studio was.
Loved him.
And yet he was fantastic, right?
He really was.
And then Kevin Hart and, well, you remember the guys, and feel free to, I don't want to dominate the conversation, but we had conversations.
Too late.
We had conversations with Damon Wayans that made me think in a whole different way about the show Different Strokes, because it was really, when you boil it down, it's not what I got from it watching it as a kid. It's these two children who had to be adopted, and how they're each other's only family members, and they stick together, and it really was a lot heavier in his mind than it was in mine, and I just looked at it in an entirely different way after having those conversations with him about it. And Kevin Hart really. There's two people who bailed us out in a big way, and one of them was Kevin Hart, who had that joke about weed at the end. It was not obviously in the script. And the other one was Jon Stewart, who was kind of I just had a hunch that he might do it. I knew he was like hanging out at home, and he might want to come out to California. And we had this part of this nerd named Rocky, and there were a lot of people that could have played that part, but we said, what the hell, let's ask Jon Stewart if he'll do it. And so then we have Jon Stewart and Jennifer Aniston as Blair sitting on a little bench at the end having this tender moment, but there was nothing funny in the original script. And we couldn't figure out what to do at the end, and we actually didn't even have a plan until the show was live, and then John just was funny at the end of it, and the show ended how it should. And I mean, that was another little bit of magic that happened.
I think the audience should know that it was your idea, because I know that we all were slightly nervous about the idea of casting older people in the role of kids. And yeah, I was very nervous. And it was Jimmy's idea to do it, and it was, I think, a blessing.
I don't think things through, is what it is. But honestly, what it was, first of all, I know Kevin is one of the funniest people in the world. Secondly, I told not too many people this idea. I shared it with only a few people, and every time the reaction was, "Oh my God, that is great!" And so I think you just have to trust people when you get that kind of a reaction with something.
Jimmy and Brent, who did it, I met Ann Dowd in this context because they brought Ann Dowd in that role, and she killed.
Yes, she did.
Thank you, Norman.
And really okay, I'm sorry, go ahead, yes.
My name's Alexandra Daniel. I'm a young filmmaker. I was just asking, I know you touched on this a little bit before, but what made these two shows stand out based on other shows at the time? Like, for example, I think Welcome Back, Kotter was also playing during this time, and a few other shows. Why these two specifically? What made these so special to you that you guys wanted to make it?
Well, I mean, we were going from Norman's body of shows, so Welcome Back Kotter is not, unless you bought it or something, and I don't know. You know, it's hard to figure it out, but I don't know, I think it's fun to put shows that we're on, like, on the same night, or back to back, or have some relationship to each other. Like All in the Family of the Jeffersons, it's a spin-off of the Jeffersons. All in the Family, and then Good Times, which just was one of my favorite shows as a kid. But we batted around like crazy. And then Brent watches 150 episodes of old television, and it's almost like he's been kidnapped at the end of it, just released. It's like a POW type situation. Yes, right there.
I've loved all of the live in front of a studio audience specials that we watch. They make us all so happy. The one thing I was wondering about this though is Anne didn't get to say the signature line, "Girls, girls, girls." So would you do that for us?
Yeah.
I don't know how. I mean, to say. I think you just did it beautifully. What could be better than what you just did?
It would have to be girls, girls, girls.
We are headed down Hollywood Boulevard towards the Roosevelt. We're going to get a better look at all this Jurassic World Dominion world premiere setup here on Hollywood Boulevard. Check it out. They're putting up plants. They got a whole arc for everyone to walk through. And then they got some of the sets set up in here for to do interviews. They got like a whole dinosaur head in there. Jurassic World Dominion premiering here in Chinese Theater on the Hollywood Boulevard. Boom. Just like yesterday, we're headed over to the Roosevelt for a little after party. Hopefully we can get photos with Norman Lear and James Burrows. Also, wouldn't it be hilarious if Jimmy Kimmel actually came over here and then he sat at the Jimmy Kimmel set that's in the corner, and then everyone got to take photos with him, like sitting while he's interviewing you? That would be awesome. Well, instead it looks like they brought his wax museum figure over from Madame Tussauds across the street and set it up here instead. Like, I guess this is the closest we're gonna get. That's one event down and one to go. I am now leaving the Roosevelt, headed back to the car and heading over to Raleigh for Ozark. We just saw Jason Bateman twice today. He was one of the football goons in the Facts of Life episode, and then now we're going to see him in Ozark. And we've walked back and forth down Hollywood Boulevard so many times, I haven't stopped to film any of the stars on our way there. So I'm walking back to the car. And here's some of the stars. Alan Arkin, Tom Cruise, Valerie Bertinelli. Hey, it's Snow White. She just got her own star. Danny DeVito, Blake Edwards, Carole King, Rex Harrison, Burgess Meredith. Awesome. So yesterday I showed you the outside of the Dolby Theater. Inside here is where the stars come in. And look, they have all of the Best Picture winners up here as you walk in. And the stars all walk up the steps on Oscar night and head this way right in to the Dolby Theater right there. Isn't that cool? That's pretty sweet. That was quite the adventure in Hollywood with all the crazy Jurassic World stuff set up and the live in front of a studio audience event. And then we're going to Ozark later. But first, don't forget to like this video and subscribe and share it with your friends and click the social media links. And I'll see you in a bit for Ozark.